We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
This is Cheapseat Reviews.
Hello, and thank you for listening to Cheapseat Reviews, the podcast that explores the Hollywood film industry for the greater good.
The greater good? Question mark?
Greater? Thanks.
Good?
Greatest.
I can't hear anybody. Okay.
You can't hear me?
No, it's just cutting in and out.
Oh, weird. I'm sorry. This is episode 209, and tonight we are talking about Avengers.
We interrupt this program to bring you...
Sorry.
Where did you do that?
Tonight we're talking about Avengers.
Time stone.
Apparently, we're starting over again.
Yeah, we're stuck in a time loop.
Where's Gory Mamu?
Gory Mamu? I don't know. Yeah. He's somewhere in the other verse place where it's all dark and scary, and also voiced by Benedict Cumberbatch for some reason. But I guess he likes to do big scary things like dragons and whatever he is.
My penis.
Benedict Cumberbatch voices your penis?
Would that not be cool? Hello there. I've come out to pee.
Oh. This is a strange place, and I don't want to go here. So yeah, we're doing Infinity War. So here's your warning. Here's a spoiler. The movie's been out a month. And by the time I post this, it will be, I think, a month from the Thursday night release.
I know. He keeps cutting in and out. It's really weird. I don't know if you can hear us, though.
I can totally hear you. You guys can't hear me?
Oh. You keep cutting in and out.
It's like you just pause for 2 seconds.
It's like you're taking a moment to collect yourself before saying something.
Is it an internet thing?
It must be.
Okay. I don't know what to do.
Because it comes sporadically, but it seems to.
Oh, and now you're gone. Now you guys are gone. What is happening?
Yeah, you just froze right there.
So did you guys. So great. This is going to be a wonderful episode where we're constantly going, wait, what'd you say? Huh? Your internet's bad.
Huh? What?
I don't know what to do. Again, this isn't my computer I'm using.
Yeah.
I'm on my internet at home. I know this is great for the podcast, but
you can edit this out, right?
Well, I can.
Fix it in post.
Fix it in post.
That doesn't mean I will. I'm trying to remember if I even added the... Oh, yeah, I did. I remember adding the Rooster Tail to Corny's F-bomb in Arrival. Anyway, this is a spoiler alert, but again, it's a month old. It's the first time we could all get together and do it, so sorry, it's a month old. People are like, gosh, we're already spoiling Deadpool 2. Well, we're not going to do that, all right? So just, it is what it is. We all have things that we had to do. I'm sorry again. We've missed 2 episodes or 2 weeks in the last month. Our schedules are just weird for some reason this time of the year. I don't know why. It's just kind of the way it's worked out.
Yep.
So anyway, I am Sean Allred. I haven't even done this part yet. I'm Sean, and joining me tonight is Andrew. We have a Spider-Man and an Ant-Man, Jimison.
I was hoping for the sack chin, but okay.
Yeah, I wasn't going for the scrotum face, but yeah.
Scrotum face, yeah. I forgot the exact line.
Bald, yeah. Is that what he says? I can't remember what he says. Anyway.
Baldchinian.
Baldchinian, yeah, from Men in Black. Yeah. Corny will join us in a few minutes. He's just booting. I think he's booting his computer up now. Corny totally cried at the Spider-Man part. Logan, enter random Logan Corny part here. And Sam, how long have you been there? 30 minutes. Vector. Internet.
Vector. Hey, how you doing, John?
Did you hear your middle name at all?
No.
No.
Oh, gosh, this sucks. Sam, how long have you been there? 30 minutes? Vector.
Sean, I'm here forever.
You're here forever. Honestly, what do you guys think I should do about this? Should I, restart the computer or something? I don't... You guys froze.
I was right there again.
Oh, my gosh. All right, hold on. I'm going to pause the show. All right, so awkward transition. So hopefully I fixed my internet issues. I don't know. We're going to find out here real soon. Sam is making his face real big in the screen. It's freaking me out. All right, so Sam, how long have you been there? 30 minutes? Vector.
I am always here, Sean. Watching. Waiting.
Commiserating. There you go. Little Blink-182
No.
reference. Okay.
No.
Okay. No. Okay, fine. You're too old for Blink. Corny!
What? No.
Sorry, that was loud. So I'm going to ask Andrew if he'll do the read while Corny gets his settings all good to go and microphone working. Andrew, what is, in case no one knows, somehow they've missed the internet, am I still freezing?
Yeah.
Damn it.
Although that could have been Corny leaving.
Okay.
I don't know.
Andrew, if you'll please read to us what is Avengers Infinity War. You have to unmute yourself first.
Thank you very much. So I guess all the little anecdotes I've been saying haven't been helping you.
No.
Or okay,
Sorry, bud.
great.
You was the funniest you've ever been, too, I'm sure.
Well, that's not saying much. Now, if you don't know what Infinity War is, what the hell have you been doing with your life? And you just need to pull your head out of your ass because it's not a hat and go see this movie. Now, the Avengers and their allies must be willing to sacrifice all. Again, this is a spoiler episode. In an attempt to defeat the powerful Thanos before his blitz of devastation and ruin puts an end to the universe. And it doesn't really puts an end to half of the universe. That doesn't sound as daunting, though.
Yeah. No, yeah. And, this internet thing's not going away. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, we're just going to have to work around it best we can.
Did Andrew go out? Because I heard him perfectly.
Oh, yeah, he totally froze on Infinity or on something. So, anyway, it's fine. Whatever. It's fine. We'll figure it out.
Fix it in post. We'll fix it in post.
Yeah, I don't think I can. That's the problem. Or I have the time or the skill. So, yeah, man, we were all super excited about this movie, right? I mean, gosh, this movie is the culmination of 18 other movies and 10 years worth of building, and it all comes to this moment, and holy
Kaboom.
shit, it did not disappoint, in my opinion. I walked out of there exhausted almost from all that happened, and just emotional and happy and sad and just wrecked a little bit. So
was it the Ludes?
No, it wasn't the Ludes. I don't think it was. And also joining us now is Corny. Totally cried at the Spider-Man part Logan.
And get this Sean a razor.
He's from just up the street from where I live. Chadwick Boseman went to Anderson.
Mecca Okafor? No. Oh, did he really?
Yeah, he went to... it's weird how that's your go-to.
So
name.
what you're saying is that even though you invited this woman Karen to your party, and she has made potato salad, it is not of her business to bring potato salad to your party.
I don't know what's happening, but I love it, and I love that you've been practicing this accent, haven't you?
In a way, yes.
In a way, at your next gig, you need to dress like a Wakandan. I'm just saying, like the robe thing that they wear.
Yes,
you could totally rock it. I'm just saying.
That's probably true. You should check out Black Jeopardy. It's no bit.
Our dear friend and listener Billy exposed me to Black Jeopardy for the first time with Tom Hanks on it, wearing the red Make America Great Again happy. And they're like, iPhone thumbprints, and he's like, oh, no, man, that's how the government gets you. He's like, my dog, you're right, man. Like, they loved him. It was great. It was really funny. So, yeah, this movie was just bananas, and I can't wait to spoil the hell out of it and talk about it with you guys because, well, you're my nerd friends who I talked about with movies. Pretty much everyone else in my life, like I watched
Doesn't like you? Oh, I mean,
doesn't like me. That's actually not this.
That is very mean.
Yeah, but it's also not that wrong.
oh,
I
I
mean,
must have missed that.
I went
Get
with
this man a hug.
Get this man I like this. I like this version of corny. I went with my wife and saw this, and she actually got a little emotional when what's his name? The guy who Corny's impersonating died. Chadwick Boseman, friggin' Chitala.
Chitala. Yes.
Yeah, when he started. Yeah, Chitala. Yeah, his demise. Anyway, I feel like I guess we'll back it up. We'll start kind of how we'll do as we normally do in our shows where we talk about our initial thoughts of the movie, and we'll kind of go from there. I don't want to spend the whole movie on the last 10 minutes or the whole episode of this episode on just the last 10 minutes of the movie, though we probably could, but I don't want to. Even though the last 10 minutes were just bananas.
I don't want to go, Mr. Stark.
Oh, seriously, dude, that wrecked me.
I was just like, oh, that sucks, kid.
It totally wrecked me. Because he's like,
This is going to be a bad day for you.
Yeah. This is no place to die, is what he said, and that got me doing too. So, Andrew, you're up, sir. I guess you're kind of your initial whatever.
The last 10 minutes of the movie wrecked me. The first 5 minutes of the movie put me in shock. And I spent the rest of the movie almost like how you would prepare yourself for a relative that's really old who you know is going to die very soon.
yes.
Because the whole movie I sat there thinking, I'm not going to see you again in about 2 hours for another year. And it was a hard movie to watch, knowing how it was going to, I didn't know what was going to happen exactly, but I knew,
Yeah.
I knew this was not going to end well. From the very beginning of the film, when Loki, the scene where his neck just is snapped and he's just dangling there. I thought, so this is how this is going to be. Like, Thanos is just going to come in and just kick the shit out of everybody. And that's pretty much what he did.
And you thought there was a little bit of hope when Loki says, we have a Hulk. And the Hulk bursts in, and for about 30 seconds is winning. And then when that creepy dude was like, nah, let the boss have his fun. And then you're like, oh, this isn't going to be a close fight at all.
Yeah, and then I felt like the Hulk just needed some Viagra because he had some performance issues, I think.
Yeah.
And he just, I don't know.
That's probably the best thing I've ever heard about that.
Well,
I did. Oh, go ahead.
No, please.
No, regarding the Hulk, I did really enjoy the image of kind of the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde in one face there for a moment that we got. I forget when it was in the film, but
I think it was towards the end, wasn't it? Or
he was trying to.
Yeah.
No.
Trying to get him to come out.
Right. And it was like it was almost like Two-Face in a way. But that whole struggle in the film, I really appreciated, but I also got really irritated about it because I thought if he could just
Hulk
wake
out.
that, then we could have a little bit of action here. Sorry.
And dishes that are done.
He's gonna mute while that loud noise goes. So, Corny, I'll let you jump in here while Andrew waits out the ear-splitting noise.
All right, so I'll make it quick because there'll be tons of things I guess I'll say. Have to provide my comic book information. I thought this movie went. I'll be honest with you. I wanted it to be more violent. Thanos in the past is depending on which version of the Infinity Wars you want to. To go by.
I really wanted to see Thanos flying the helicopter. I mean, could we not? I'm just teasing. Sorry.
What?
I recently learned in a podcast to listen to that early iterations of Thanos, he literally had a helicopter that said Thanos on the side of it.
Nice.
Yeah, man, the 70s were weird.
Yeah, and he
It's
was
a Batcopter.
Yeah. So anyway, keep going, Corny.
But I just wanted to. I mean, I kind of got bits and pieces of that. You know, he's super savage. But one of the things I actually do like what they've done with the character is he has an absolute great reason to do what he's doing.
Yeah,
he's a compelling villain, which we haven't had. He's your second unpunchable villain. I mean, even though he is punchable, he's you know your big gun got shut down immediately, and then your second big gun, still kind of did some things. Hashtag Thor is awesome. I liked the way this went, and I'll be honest with you, having known how this is supposed to how this should go in terms of Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet, I was probably the only person in the theater when I saw it the first time to smile at the end. I was so happy with how that ended. One of my friends who went to see it with me was just like, I don't know how to process this. And I was like, you have essentially a god from a race of gods who's one of the strongest of them to get something that makes him damn near omnipotent.
Yeah.
And so, the fact that anybody thinks that Thanos should have lost, I feel for them. But I wanted more death, but I got enough. It was fine.
Well, I have some interesting trivia about that, and it'll explain why you didn't.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We'll go about that.
Yeah.
But all in all, I think it was well done. I appreciate the fact that this villain actually did what he's supposed to. And technically, he's he's the kind of the protagonist. He got what he needed. He fought the villains that he needed to fight. And he won the day and made the universe a better place for half the people there.
And that makes sense. And that's the crazy thing. When you think about it, but a villain that you can be like, oh, okay, I kind of understand why he's doing that.
And oddly enough, this is kind of like Doctor Doom with a little less evil. Or with a little more evil, actually. Doctor Doom, he's actually picked up Thor's hammer before in iterations because his quest is actually noble. I am trying to take over the world to save it. Because he's gone to the end of time. So it's kind of one of those things like, I understand Thanos. I mean, hell, you got Hulk who's destroying stuff. If you kill him and he says, he won't kill a bunch of people. Things like that.
Right. And Corny, I would add simply to what you're saying is to this, when you mentioned that Thanos is the most compelling and kind of full, well-rounded villain we've had in the MCU, the first, I would simply argue that he outdid, but I would say Toomes, the Vulture from Homecoming, would probably be like right under that. Because he, until Thanos, was my favorite villain because he's actually a relatable villain.
Yeah. They came and took his work, took his job.
Right. And you kind of get like, oh yeah, okay, he went from hard on his luck guy to, but all he does is rob things. Like, he doesn't hurt people. The only person he hurts is Peter. Really. Yeah. And that one henchman that he zaps into nothing, but he didn't mean to. So,
but that gives credence to, my life is bad. I'm gonna rob from people. And no, Thanos was like, look, here's the deal. I've seen destruction and I have seen want, and I don't want to see it anymore. So I'm just I got a quest to save as many people as I can by killing half of them.
He'd seen fire and he'd seen rain.
Yeah, pretty much.
Never end.
Well, I mean, with the reality stone, he could see fire and rain at the same time.
Sure. I wasn't trying to compare the two. I was just saying that, in my opinion, that was what makes Tomb so great, is that he's kind of relatable. Like, if you're looking
Absolutely.
at the villains of the MCU, there's a lot of one-dimensional villains. They're just bad, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're just bad. Like, Loki, I think, is like the only other one that's like, because you're like, sometimes he's a good guy and sometimes he's not. So he's kind of complex and interesting. But, like,
Almond Joy's got nuts, Mounds don't.
all three of the Iron Man villains are they're just bad guys to be bad guys, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, and they're great. I like the movies. I like the Iron Man movies, 1, 2, in order of 1, 2, and 3. But like, let's just be honest. You know, Stain, he's just a rich asshole that wants to be a richer asshole. You know, and just
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. So anyway, I'm totally with you that Thanos is extremely, and now people that listen to the show long enough know aren't gonna be that surprised. I'm actually gonna relate this not to a Star Trek character, but to Serenity. In my opinion, Thanos reminds me of, and again, I didn't read the comic books like Corny did. I'm only the movie guy. Thanos reminds me of the agent in Serenity, in that he's a bad guy, but he is firm in his belief that doing what he does is the right thing to do. It is his belief that killing River in the movie is the right thing to do. So he's not the bad guy in his mind. So that's kind of what that reminded me of Thanos. Andrew, you want to jump back if your laundry's done or whatever?
Yeah. No, I'm good. I'm just listening now and agreeing.
All right. Right on.
Yeah. No, I mean, other than what I've already said, that the movie itself from after that first 5 minutes and until the last maybe 20, really I thought was done very well. And I don't know the comic version of the story. I just know the movie like you. And so it was interesting to see how it unfolded, having some idea of what I thought would happen. And it did not disappoint, of course. I do wish, kind of like Corny, that there would have been some more violence. I mean, when you're,
It's
I don't know, when
2.5
you're
hour movie, and there's a lot of fighting in this movie.
well,
Yeah, but like-
maybe not. Maybe that's not what I mean. If you're Thanos and I don't know. I was expecting maybe gorier violence. Maybe, I don't know. If it were a rated R version, I think I would have enjoyed it better.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like when he punches Captain America in the face, he should implode his head.
Right.
But
So more comic booky violence.
yeah, but you're wanting like not Zack Snyder. Who was the guy?
I'm wanting a
Not Westworld.
Logan version.
Yeah, but
of
like,
Infinity War.
I mean, you know that they can't do that. I mean, and Logan was great. Logan, we all freaking loved Logan.
Yeah.
But you can't do that. Now, if they ever came out with a Blu-ray director's cut that makes it rated R, fine.
Oh, I'm all over it.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like they did with the Daredevil awful movie where the regular release,
What were your picture?
but they made a rated. What? What just happened?
Sorry, every time I hear Daredevil, I hear that song from See There.
Oh no, it's Evanescence.
Or Evanescence.
Yeah. Wake me up. Okay, I'm with you. Speaking of Daredevil, I'm sorry. I'm rewatching the Defenders series because I just wanted to.
Okay.
This is kind of a side note, but we're still in the Marvel world. And it got me thinking, Corny. Now, I know that of the team, the four, right, in the Defenders, you got your Daredevil, your Jessica Jones, your Power Man, and Iron Fist. And Iron Fist, he's always, from what I've been told, and I think you told me this, is that as a pure fighter, he is the best pure fighter in of the good guys, right?
Yeah, essentially, yes.
Yeah.
That is.
So I'm watching him fight, and again, the Iron Fist series, his series, wasn't great. The fight scenes weren't great because literally they were still learning choreography the day they were shooting. Whereas the Daredevil fight scenes were clearly very well choreographed and were fantastic. But I'm watching these scenes where he's kicking butt, and all I could think of is, I wonder who would win in a fight between him and Cap. I don't know why. I just always kind of Cap to me is the standard, and I always wondered, can that guy beat Cap? That's what I'm always wondering.
My comic book opinion is that Iron Fist beats Cap with or without the Iron Fist power.
Really?
Or no. I mean, which one with Iron Fist power? No. Without, also no. But it's better.
Well, yeah, I figured with the fist that he could probably do some damage, but because I asked you the same question after watching Black Panther, I'm like, could Black Panther beat Captain America in a fight? Because I know they fought in Civil War, but we didn't really get to see an extended fight.
Yeah, I mean, with the current power set of this Black Panther, with a damn near indestructible suit, an Iron Man suit that doesn't fly, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think
Cap would punch him, and he would just be like, "All right," and redirect.
Right. I think it'd be kind of an even fight. I think it would kind of be like what happened in Civil War, where basically, for all intents and purposes, that was a draw at the end of Civil War. So anyway, I was just wondering. I'm watching the show, and I really like it. I think it's a great show. I freaking love all of them. Jessica Jones season 2 was really good. I enjoyed it, and I'm looking.
Haven't seen an episode yet.
Really?
Yeah, I'm actually real behind on some things. Though.
Yeah, you're busy, dude. You're working, going to New Orleans and doing all this other stuff. It's not as dark or as sinister as season 1. It's a lot more backstory, and we get why she wears the leather jacket and why her company is called Alias and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to derail. I did mean to, but we'll get back. I guess Sam, it's your turn.
My turn. Really?
Yeah, we're still doing the intro.
All right. Well, I went into this movie after. Obviously, we've been watching these Marvel movies for years, and Corny a while ago had mentioned the Thanos story, and it might have been in a podcast. It's probably just talking, but I remember him saying that Thanos ended up winning in the comic books, and before this whole thing, they said that the Avengers 3 was going to be split into 2 films.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
do you remember that?
Part 1,
part 1 and part 2. And then along the way, they decided, hey, we're just doing 1 film. Well, those sneaky little bastards, they're still doing 2 films. They just wanted us to believe that, it was a one and done. Thanos is going to get beat just like Loki in Avengers 1 and just like Ultron in Avengers 2. So kudos to them for totally tricking me into thinking that somehow they were going to resolve this in this movie, because they certainly did not. And I love them for doing that. Completely caught me by surprise. I knew the story of Thanos in terms of wiping out half the universe was coming, but I didn't know if they had the guts to do it. And when I first saw it happen in theater, I was like, wow, I can't believe they just got rid of more than a couple $100 million franchises in a snap of a finger. Now, do I think they're going to stick? That's maybe something we could talk about later. But kudos for, Black Panther and Spider-Man being offed in the film. But the film itself, now we have to think, can this film stand up on its own? And I was going into this trying to think of it, as an individual film, you pretty much need to know some of the stuff behind these folks. There's a lot of stories, there's a lot of different things going into this film that you need to know that they kind of have to gloss over, mainly because there's 5,000 heroes and 8,000 enemies that have to be killed, to do so. But for those of us who were fortunate enough to see all the movies before this, my God, was it a visual treat to see everybody interacting, to see the Guardians finally meeting up with Thor and Spidey and all of that was
Rabbit.
that was it was Robert was absolutely incredible. And I swear, I think James Gunn needs to write every Marvel movie from here to eternity, because all the Guardian scenes were absolutely incredible, and I wanted more of them. A lot of things in this movie that we just have not seen before. I never thought of Thor as powerful as he is until this movie, and he really kind of shows off what he can do and what he can withstand. As a superhero. Did the movie drag? I think there were some moments where it did. I think we all knew what was going to happen to Gamora. The instant that he was taking her along to wherever he was going, right? His movie, right? And I think they made a villain shine. I loved it. I want to go see it again. I tried seeing it on my computer today, and I think I got a virus. But
Don't do that.
I'm out.
Is that what's wrong with the internet? Is that why we're having these issues?
I don't know. But it's one heck of a ride, one heck of a movie, and good God. I read somewhere where they actually wanted to have the word snap appear when he snapped his fingers, and it was cut at the last minute.
Good.
But
Yeah, I'm glad that was.
yeah, awesome. I loved it.
Oh, but they did put it right above Loki's head in the.
Yeah. So, Sean, what do you think?
Well, okay. So just to make a little correction, not that we would get emails for it, but James Gunn didn't write anything for this movie. He did. According to the IMDb, he didn't.
He wrote
Peter Gunn.
Didn't the directors do the dialogue for their individual people?
Yeah.
Oh, did they? Well, then that's not in IMDb. That'd be cool if that's true. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll look it up, but I'm
Okay.
pretty sure he had a lot to do with whatever the Guardians were doing.
I mean, that makes sense because he's directed their two movies, and those two movies are almost $billion franchises in them themselves, so it would make sense.
That's why Jon Favreau was a part of the executive producer list at the end, I thought, because they brought their writers to write for those characters.
Yeah, he wrote the dialogue for the Guardians, and some of he gave suggestions.
Weird. He's not credited on IMDb, which is weird. So maybe it was not a credited thing. I mean, to you, Corny. Well, okay, yeah, there he is. Yeah, I see that. Okay, so yeah, Jon Favreau. He's been an executive producer of every film since he kicked this thing off with Iron Man and was so successful. They're like, hey, we want to keep you on forever. Yeah, I see that now. James Gunn as an executive producer. Well, that's cool. I didn't know that, but I actually like that a lot. I wish his brother could have been in it though. More.
Peter?
No, Sean. He's the guy who in Guardians 2. He's like,
See the leg?
No, he's the guy who says, "I'm sorry about the mutiny, but, Captain. Captain's got to teach stuff." That's his brother.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that guy. He's great. Anyway,
I thought my Peter Gunn joke would have gone further. I apologize.
No, it's fine. Here's a random little Peter Gunn moment, and no one is going to find this interesting unless you are a music person. And I apologize for this story. I'm literally on stage at this church doing AV stuff, and we were killing a few minutes waiting for something to happen. And I go to the piano, and I start playing the Peter Gunn theme. The ba-da-da-da-da-da-da, right? And I know the theme because I played it in high school jazz band. I know the notes. And my boss, music guy, Stuart, who's a friend of the show, says that's wrong. It's actually this, and plays it. And I said, no, sir, that's not right. This is right. And he says, you want to bet? And I said, yeah, I'll bet you lunch. And he says, okay. So he Googles the sheet music, and I was right. So I got lunch.
Nice. Did he buy you lunch?
He did. He's like, well, this producer, whoever made this music is wrong. And I said, we can go get my dad's original LP of the soundtrack. You want to go do that? He goes, no. I said, okay. Anyway, sorry. Peter Gunn, great joke. One of the things that I loved about the movie, freaking loved it, is that nothing, in my opinion, so here's the thing, right? So first of all, the movie trailer lied to us, right? The trailer lied, which they do all the time in movies, trailers, right? It shows the team is running through the forest, and the Hulk is there, and
Picking up the field mice.
Yeah, and
popping them on the head. Yeah. I like this.
And that shot, of course, isn't in the movie. They're actually in a field, not in the woods. And, of course, the Hulk isn't there. It's the Hulk Buster armor with Ruffalo inside, which was great, by the way. I freaking loved him in that suit. He was great.
Although I did have a bit of a problem with it.
What?
Just in terms of he's never been in the suit.
Yeah,
So
but he's super smart. He helped him build it. So
it would have been fun to see him kind of, I don't know. There'd be some comedic moments, I think, that are wasted.
I thought there was a couple of moments where he was a little awkward and like he didn't know what to do or something.
Like he fell down that one time. He's like, "Oh, this is great." Falls down immediately. I'm okay.
Yeah, I thought they did that gag once. I don't know if they.
Yeah, they did. I mean, it was like when they were making the initial run towards
and he
the barrier.
or something, didn't he?
And he trips and falls on his face, and then the head guard for Black Panther rolls her eyes.
Right. I do remember that. So, and I love. I mean, the comedic moments in the movie are great. Like Rocket looks at
Rabbit.
Winter Soldier's arm and is like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna get that arm." Like there's a lot of those little great moments in the movie. This
is one of those movies where you need that. You need some brevity here and there, or you're not going to make it.
Especially after that first scene. I mean, they start the freaking movie off with an incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, who thought they were going to go that far?
Yeah.
In the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, we lose Loki and Heimdall in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
And
I'm not gonna lie, they kill 75% of all the black characters, the major black characters in the movie. No, they kill 80%.
Yeah.
Nick Fury too.
Who else?
So you got War Machine, Nick Fury, Black Panther, Falcon.
Oh, that's right, Fury.
And who's my fifth person? Heimdall.
And Heimdall, yeah.
That's your five major black characters, and they kill four of them.
Wait, did what's his name? Iron Giant win? Did he live?
War Machine? Yeah, he's
War Machine?
Yeah, he's dead.
He's the only one who lived.
Oh, he is?
Yes.
Oh, I can't remember.
Falcon, Panther, Nick Fury, and Heimdall are all dead.
Oh, I forgot Falcon. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I saw that and I was like, really, guys? Come on.
All right. That's interesting. So the thing that I was saying was that the thing that I loved is that there's no way they could ever have all 24 of the named actors and characters on the screen at one time. You couldn't physically do it, right? Like it's just it wouldn't work
scheduling wise.
And it would also not even that, it just wouldn't work organically. It would seem forced that you would have all 24 lining up in a row standing facing off against Thanos. It would seem too video game-ish, And then each one takes their turn. Like Dragon Ball Z could do this, but it wouldn't work in the movie.
Oh, we got to spend like 15 minutes of the movie of Captain America charging up.
Yeah. Like maybe the Hulk would be the one charging up. Who knows? And
America,
little green aura around him.
America.
So I like that they jump into teams, and the teams are weird, right? I mean, Thor and Rocket and Groot. That's not a team that makes sense. but it totally works. And then they meet Peter Dinklage,
So much fun.
who's
Oh,
a 14-foot dwarf, which is great. And and you got
yeah.
Negative.
How do you approach him with that? Like, hey, we need you to be a giant in a movie. What?
right.
Actually, they go, "Hey, we need you to play a dwarf." No, but you're 14 feet tall. That's not a dwarf. Stay with me here.
It is in the Norse because the place they go to in the north. I keep saying north in the Norse mythology is literally translated as land of dwarves. I can't pronounce where they go to, but that place that they go.
Burgerheim.
Yeah, okay.
All of it's Burgerheim.
Burgerheim sounds like a cool restaurant.
I
Right?
I would go to Burgerheim.
I would too. Let's start that restaurant right now, Burgerheim.
Your beers are giant, and when you want another, you just slam your butt.
Right?
Your
Like
another.
You know, Odin's beard is like a thing, and Mjolnir is like a pitcher, but like the handles look like the hammers. I like those.
Oh yeah. So the handle's a hammer. The glass itself is just the head of the hammer,
Right.
and it weighs a ton.
Yeah.
And if you can hold it for like 2 minutes outstretched,
Yeah.
you're worthy to drink it.
You're worthy to drink it. Yeah.
I want this to happen.
Oh my gosh, Burgerheim.
Quick Mjolnir side note. So my son's birthday is tomorrow,
Okay.
and my youngest son was helping me decorate the cupcakes, and he wanted to draw Thor's hammer. Well, as you can imagine,
It looks like a penis.
it looked like a big old penis.
I knew exactly
Well,
where you're going.
I'm
I
pretty
told
sure
him-
that is Thor's hammer.
No, please take a picture.
Well, we had to eat that one because we didn't want the grandparents to see a penis.
That's
So
fantastic.
Mjolnir is no more,
Oh,
both literally and figuratively.
I actually got to rewatch Thor Ragnarok a couple of days ago because that was my birthday present from my family. So I got to rewatch that.
they let you access TV again?
Yeah. Like, hey, now you get to watch the TV. So no, I get it. And
Congratulations.
I
Opie.
love Thor Ragnarok.
Because they call you Opie, I'm sure.
No, they don't. No, I love Thor Ragnarok, and so if you're paying attention, and Corny, you didn't get to hear this, but the intro, I picked 4 pieces of new music for in the cinematic universe. Obviously, I couldn't do all of Phase 3 intros because the intro itself would be like 6 minutes long then, because this Avengers was the 7th film of Phase 3, and I only wanted to do 5 movies. So anyway,
Doesn't feel like it though.
I know, right? And
They've done such a good job.
yeah, because Civil War technically is the start of Phase 3. Civil
Yeah.
War seems like it was forever ago, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, actually no, Ant-Man was the start. The first Ant-Man wasn't the first Ant-Man the start of?
Isn't every Avengers the end of the phase?
No, because
Yeah.
Ant-Man was the end of Phase 2. That's
Ant-Man
right.
was?
Yeah, I remember that being weird. Captain America: Civil War, I thought was the start of Phase 3 because it was the introduction of Spider-Man. I think. I guess there's a website that probably has all this stuff. Anyway. So,
If only there were a series of interconnected computers.
Anyway, I loved the movie. I really did. I was totally geeking out, and the movie had what I thought was so great is there's an energy in the movie the entire time. It's intense because after that you get that setup, right, where these 2 characters that we've seen now since Thor, the first Thor, so that's the 3rd movie or the 3rd movie in the series, right? So we've known these Loki and Heimdall for a long time, and they're dead. They dead, right? Like forever and
They dead.
all men gone, right?
I swear to God, I'm gonna be real upset.
Yeah, well, you're gonna be pissed, I think. So the whole time this movie has, for whatever reason, there was just this energy, like, who's gonna be next, right? Like you're constantly,
Yeah.
in my
Who
opinion,
is
I'm
it?
like, I'm always on pins and needles, and I loved when Scarlet Witch and Paul Bettany with the thing on his forehead are hanging out in London, right? And then they get attacked, and Vision's kind of getting his butt kicked, right? And she's doing what she can. And then that guy looks up and sees a shadowy figure and then throws a spear, and Cap just catches it like a boss. And they end up, I think they killed one of them, right? And
Yep.
I was literally, when he caught it and stepped in the light, I was like, yeah! Like, I got so nerded out because because we haven't seen Cap since Civil War. And it's like, yeah, it's my boy, yeah! And he kicked ass. It was great. So,
You're my boy, Blue.
that's right. And I just got really geeked out about that. I really did. And I don't know. There was a lot of moments where the energy inside of me was just like, I couldn't stand it. I was so excited for what I was seeing on camera or on film. You know, when Spider-Man comes in and starts kicking ass that he does, right? We need to watch. Have you seen this really old movie called Aliens? It's like, like those are funny, right? Because he's a 15-year-old kid, but you know, and he says something like, "We're going to go with his plan because I'm out of pop culture references" or something like that. Like, I don't know. The only part, in my opinion, literally the only part that kind of annoyed me, kind of tiny little bit, corny.
Yeah, I see.
Is
For those of you playing at home, it gave me the little fingers.
Is Tony's Iron Man suit, I think, has now reached OP levels.
Yes.
Nope. I disagree.
Nanotechnology.
The nanotech.
Totally disagree.
His helmet gets ripped off and just grows another one back.
Nanotechnology. They replicate themselves instantly. I wanted to be upset with it. But again, this is also a man whose armor at some point in time, he had embedded into his skin. He had, comic book wise, he's had an armor that became sentient and wanted to be with Tony. So it tried to kill him and then realized that, oh, if I kill him, he's dead. Like, these things have happened. So in my mind, of course, he's looking, and the thing about Iron Man is that he is driven by the idea of making his suit faster and stronger. And I think in this particular universe, harder, better.
Yep.
Well, my only problem is it felt like it cheated a few. I don't know. It seems like it jumped a step a little too fast to me.
Well, how long has it been since the last time we've had an Iron Man armor? And how much time has he had?
Well, we saw
Right?
we saw Iron Man in Spider-Man: Homecoming. Was the last time we saw an Iron Man suit, and it was still fairly normal, right? I mean, the last time we had a real Iron Man movie was Cap 3, and it was typical jumping in and out of things. His helmet could come off and come back on fairly quickly. Now, I get that Black Panther changes everything, right? I'll let you do the accent. We want to invite the world to come into Wakanda so you can...
We want to invite the world to come into Wakanda?
Right. And so it doesn't make... It makes 100% sense that Tony's on the first flight down there and is like, hey, really smart teenage-looking girl, can you give me an upgrade? And she's like, hell yeah, because you're not as smart as I am. Because that's kind of what this movie made me feel, is like she's smarter than Tony and Banner, which I kind of like.
Yes.
So anyway, I get that it happened. It just seemed a little convenient that his hoodie can turn into a suit of armor. You know?
I want to agree, but this is a man, again, Tony Stark built a suit in a cave. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm not Tony Stark. Yeah. No, I'm with you. I totally get it.
And so at this point in time, he's had that vision. He knows that he's about to fight something terrible. And how many times has the suit gotten damaged? I mean, after the first one, everything he's done has been, how do I get the suit on faster? And how do I get parts back onto me if they come off?
Right. No,
so,
again, everything you're saying I 100% agree with. Totally. 100%.
But in terms of movie convenience, I feel like
it's a little ex machina, right? A little bit?
Little bit.
I can't go with it. I can't make that step this time.
And I like
as much as I normally would go with that and be like, come on, man, that's a little. Nanotech is not an uncommon thing in the
in the MCU, and I'm fine with it. And again, it doesn't really bother me. I'm nitpicky here, right? Again,
You're picking nits.
like the score at the end of my thing is going to represent how much of a fandom I have for this film. Is that, and I get that they not explain it, but they give you a little foreshadowing, and I mean not even little, but like 4 minutes later it happens is when she points to his chest piece and it's like, really, you're back to wearing that? And he goes, well, you never know when someone's going to roll up, and I need to be prepared. So like in that moment, you're like, oh, he's ready to wear a suit in an instant. And so I just kind of expected that when stuff is about to go down, like his watch would turn into something, or I don't know, just for some reason, like going from soft goods hoodie to metal suit is the thing. And literally, it could have been a belt, and I would have been better with it. I don't know why. It's dumb. But he pulls his strings on his hoodie, and he turns into Iron Man. Anyway, again, I'm nitpicking. And otherwise, fantastic film.
And actually, if we're doing that, and actually, I will say the one thing that I nitpicked was, so Hulk gets beat. They zip him off to Earth.
Yep.
Hey, that's been a long time. In the fight where Banner's like, I need you to come out now. All Banner had to do, and he knows this because he knows how the Hulk thinks, is to say, do you think this big dude is the strongest there is? Or something to the fact of, this guy thinks he's the strongest there is. Yeah. That is the button for Hulk. That is, I am the strongest there is. That is his catch. That is his phrase. That is his thing. So the fact that Banner could not get the Hulk to come out, I think is that I don't think that happens. Even if he is scared of Thanos, Hulk as an entity, I am the strongest there is. I will kill it with my fist. And he's scared. Like that bothers me. But this is a different Hulk.
For God's sake, look at that. What's it called? Ragnarok. And the crazy thing he jumped after at the very end of the movie.
The giant fire beast, and he's like, fire monster. He goes, no, come on, let's go. Fine. And he goes and jumps into the ship. Like, yeah, you're not. And Corny, you're not the first nor the last person I've heard that's their complaint, is that that's not what the Hulk would do. And the Russo brothers have gone on record several times in promoting before and after this movie saying, we're not going to only use just comic books. We're going to do things that make sense cinematically, because if all we're doing is putting on film what you've read, then there's no point.
Oh, and I get that. And so, and again, because of the first Iron Man movie and subsequently everything we've watched, I have learned that I will go, oh, that's a nod to the comics. This is something new. And I can appreciate a scared Hulk. Most of this, I appreciate the fact that the Hulk has never had his ass whooped ever. So he's a little gun shy. But in the Central Park fight or whatever that is, I don't feel like, I feel like he would have come out in that fight. Not that Banner had to, you know, that's one of the things. Now, second time around, and say he is in the field and he's running and he's beating up those things, and then Thanos shows up, I feel like we could have had a more gut-wrenching thing with the Hulk doing his damnedest to hurt Thanos, but Thanos still beats him a second time.
Right.
And then we see him revert back to Banner, and Banner's like, I don't know what just happened. Like, I feel like that would have been more interesting to see.
You know, I actually agree. I think I agree with that because, I mean, the only time we've seen Hulk not be fully Hulk is Ragnarok, correct?
Well, I mean,
that's our sentient 4-year-old Hulk. That's
yeah. So I don't know. It seems strange to I don't know, all of a sudden have a scared Hulk. Seems strange to me.
We've never seen it, and that's why I'm cool with it, because we've never seen it. So the Russo brothers gave us something we've never seen.
Yeah.
I also feel like that if you look at Ragnarok as the direct prequel to Infinity War,
which you should.
Which you should. Literally. One's finished with a post-credit scene and it starts with that same scene. in Infinity War. But anyway, he has been the Hulk for 2 years. Yeah, right, 2 years.
Yeah.
For a while.
For a long time. And I think that could even be some of the, well, for lack of a better term, performance issues that he has, because he was the Hulk for so long, and he was afraid to turn into the Hulk because he didn't know how much longer he would be the Hulk again if it happened again.
Well, he did. Remember, even in Ragnarok, he comes back, and then he says, I'm afraid to do it again because I'm afraid that if I go back to the Hulk, I'll never come back as Banner. And then, he and Thor have to have like a weird little awkward heart-to-heart kind of a moment, right? And then he's like, fine, you don't have to turn back into the Hulk, but I'm going to need your help. And so then he only turns into the Hulk again when he needs to fight the big bad wolf and deal with that. And again, he has that great comedic moment when he jumps off the Quinjet and lands on the Rainbow Bridge and dies, just thump. And it's funny, right? And then, the wolf walks past him, and all of a sudden the wolf's getting ready to eat everybody, and then he gets pulled in the back by the tail, and you have the great, moment, right? So he is the Hulk again, and again, when we see him in the beginning of this movie, he's still the Hulk from the end of Ragnarok. So we're led to believe he's stuck as the Hulk. So then when he shows back up in New York, in Doctor Strange's front foyer as Banner, it's different.
He knocked the green out of him.
Yeah, he sure did. And I don't have the background that Corny does. So a scared Hulk to me is interesting and fascinating. And Sam and I actually created a theory, Corny.
Oh.
And Andrew, that we think. So this is no surprise. Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans have both said, we're kind of done after Avengers 4. We're done. Our contracts are up. We kind of want to play other characters. We want to do other things. Yes, making millions and millions of dollars is getting boring. We want to try something else, right? And we think, Sam and I, that in order to get everyone back, because the prevailing theory is that everyone that died is actually in the Soul Stone. That their spirits have been
all the people that dusted.
That got dusted. Yeah. Not stabbed or broken necked, but dusted.
Fair enough.
Are in the Soul Stone, and that the same kind of concept is going to happen. Is that, let's say Captain Marvel, when she shows up in Avengers 4 and she's able to wrestle the gauntlet off of Thanos. We don't know how it's going to happen, but somehow we think it's going to happen. But in order to reverse it, right? You collect the Dragon Balls and wish the dragon to everybody to come back, right? In order for that to happen, there's going to have to be a sacrifice. And we think that Tony is going to be that sacrifice. He is going to sacrifice himself for the greater good of the universe, and that's what brings the Hulk back, is watching his friend die for some reason, and then the Hulk comes back and beats the shit out of Thanos or something like that.
Yeah,
that's an interesting theory. I like that theory.
Mm-hmm.
So,
that would be very interesting to see.
It would be interesting, and I do think, I think personally, and I think Sam agrees, that Robert Downey Jr., I think that Captain America and Iron Man die in Avengers 4 for good.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. I believe they both die. Or actually, no. Okay, I sorry. Part of me says yes, they both die so they can be done. The other half of me says they go off into the wild blue yonder, or the third part is some type of reality stone, time stone, something, and something happened. I mean, there are ways to get rid of them that apply, but I feel like their death in the fourth movie would make a lot of sense.
And whatever it is, it has to be. You ever heard of like those girls that they break up with you, or they're not really interested in it, but they want to keep you on the leash. They keep the window open just a little bit. Like, hey, you want to go out tonight? No, I can't tonight, but maybe in the future. And so you're always on the hook, right? Like you don't want that with your characters, right? You don't want this. Who is Robert Downey Jr. ever going to come back? I think they want it to be final.
Yeah.
And so, I think whatever the ending is for him and Chris Evans for Captain America, it's going to be a final, whatever, ending for them, whether it's death or retirement by Reality Stone or whatever. And I think that Sebastian Stan, Winter Soldier, White Wolf, is going to take up the mantle of Captain America. Or
that's probably true.
Or
because
Anthony
Bucky,
Mackie's character.
Yeah. So okay, well.
And also, I
money. I was gonna say money wise, it makes complete sense for Sebastian Stan to take over the mantle.
Sure.
Yep.
I mean, a black Captain America would set half his country on fire.
I don't know.
I mean, after Black Panther.
Yeah, but
I still think
people who are butthurt about the changes that Marvel's made in the last couple years, which is why Marvel's kind of redoing everything they've done. Yeah. Like a black girl is Iron Man right now because Tony's body died and he uploaded his subconscious as an AI and it's now running. I mean, it's stuff like that. No, I'm not complaining about that. I'm just saying.
But see, I'm going to be honest with you, Corny. I would love an idea to have, if Tony passes the mantle down, and I don't know how you would do it in Avengers 4. There's no way to do it in Avengers 4. I just don't think there's enough time. But there's some way that Iron Man could live on in the next person. And I'm totally fine if it's a 17-year-old black girl. I think that'd be great.
Although, you know what? You know who you give it to?
Who?
You give it to Black Panther's sister.
I thought about that.
That would be. I mean, that would play well. I'm just thinking, like money wise, you're never gonna.
It would have to be a big enough actress that people would care about. But like, they exist obviously. And I think Sebastian Stan as Captain America would work because he's doing more roles and people kind of care about who he. But again, remember, no one knew who Chris Evans was before he became Captain America. He was that guy that did that awful Fantastic Four movie.
He was a Human Torch. He was
right. He was in Push. I mean, like
he was Snowpiercer. He was
he did Snowpiercer after Cap, but
oh yeah.
So my point is that like you can do this, and I think it would be really cool to kind of continue the characters, and also people need to calm the hell down about the Fox Disney buyout. That's not confirmed yet. It's still pending. So we may never get Hugh Jackman as Wolverine in an MCU movie. It may never happen. He may get too old.
He's already said he's not doing it.
Yeah, I was going to say he's already.
Well, he said he would not do it anymore unless it was in an MCU Avengers movie. That was his literally only condition. But
I think at this point in time, we saw Logan. We can't go back. We can't.
Well, you can't.
Right.
Remember, Old Man Logan. That movie's 20 years in the future.
Well, that's true.
There's a lot of killing he can do before he gets to that moment.
McElroy or Stewart. I mean, who knows what the timeline is.
I honestly think that Fox needs to just stop with the X-Men for a while until either it's Disney that buys them or whoever. Somebody else is bidding on it too. I can't remember who, but whoever buys it.
Disney's probably laughing like, you really? Because we made the money to buy you this weekend.
Right.
The CW is the other.
Yeah, CW. Make them all pretty and
there's sex everywhere. Just.
Right. Oh gosh. Anyway, Corny and I. So Andrew and Sam, I asked you, I guess, because Corny and I kind of gave our little nitpicky things. Did you guys have anything that you kind of want to nitpick or whatever?
Nitpick? No. It begs the question that if all the Avengers, if all the characters in this film could have been in one place to fight Thanos, could they have won before he got the Mind Stone?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
So by spreading them out, mainly because they had to with scheduling, that was the only way Thanos could win.
I don't think it's something as simple as we couldn't get all the actors on one set at one time. I think it was more of it's too hard to film that many people that need to get screen time.
How do you make that work logistically?
And again, you would have too much of, Batman's fighting a horde of villains where randomly these guys are just falling down. Like it would be too hard to film, I think. to have too many 25, 24 people attacking one dude. That's what I think. I like the team ups. Now, okay, Corny, I'm gonna have to revert back to you again, because this actually kind of bothered me a little bit. Again, a little bit.
All right.
The scene when Star-Lord, Mantis, and Drax, yeah, when they show up and they have a little quick 5-minute skirmish against Iron Man, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man. I'm just being honest with you. I don't see a reality in how Spider-Man loses to Star-Lord. I'm just saying. I can't.
He's half god,
But
half planet.
yeah, but he's still mostly dude, and I still feel like Spider-Man could kick his ass.
Yeah.
You know, like
I kind of ignored that. Thank you for reminding me of it. But yeah, so first of all, hold on, wait a minute.
That is a good point. I never thought of that either, though. But I
Especially
think I have to agree with you.
With that new
With the Iron Spider suit.
Iron Spider suit.
yeah, like
Oh wait, didn't he do the metal thing, the magnet thing to him?
I mean, yeah, he kind of shut him down with one of his little toys, but I still kind of feel like Doctor Strange, Iron Man, and Spider-Man beat the shit out of that other three. I'm just saying. And I know they needed to have kind of a Mexican standoff in order for them to realize they're on the same team. Like, I get that. It just, the way it kind of happened in the moment, I was like, okay, there's no way. I know he got in with the little zappy thing, but still. Like, Spider-Man would have sensed that coming, jumped out of the way, and like...
See, actually, I will say this. Spider-Sense only works when he's in danger. If he's not in danger, it doesn't work.
Is it just
Was he
danger
not
in general? Because
It is danger. It is legit danger to him.
well, the
If
first
the
time
shot
they-
is not...
but the
So
first,
what was the danger when you first saw it in the bus?
right? That's what, yeah. He wasn't.
That
in
thing
immediate
was
danger.
so evil. It like that thing was evil, so it alerted him that there's evil nearby, and bad things are going to happen to him. I mean, like it was like, hey, this will happen. Sorry, I'm sorry. It's comic book stuff. I know I'm stretching here.
Yeah.
But yes, I do agree the fact that so not James Gunn, Star-Lord shoots the thing, he dodges it, he webs him. That's taken care of. Drax, he just dodges around him. He webs Drax and shoots him. I mean, yeah, technically,
Yeah,
they should have won.
Okay.
They should have won.
Here's the other thing about Drax, and I didn't realize this until I saw one of those stupid clickbaity things that you see on Facebook. But Drax in one of the iterations killed Thanos.
Yes.
Yeah.
He removed his heart, punched him in the chest, and took his heart out.
Right. So I kind of feel like the comic book version of Drax is more badass than the version we've seen on TV.
Yes. Very much so.
Like I almost feel like Drax, though he has the best lines of anyone on film. Like he has the best one-liners. The whole
Yes.
bit where he's standing there eating soup
Chips.
and like I can move so slow. I've learned like how long have you been standing there? I've been here 30 minutes. No, you haven't. You know, I've learned how to disappear. Like that stuff is hysterical. I love all of his dialogue. Where is Gamora? I'll do you one better. Who is Gamora? I'll do you
Or
one
what is
better.
Gamora?
Why is Gamora? Like what? But I just feel like he needs to not suck a little bit. He kind of, I don't know.
Yeah. But he never got his hands, a good chance to get to Thanos.
Well,
and I feel like that's a good teaser for.
Well, he was fighting Thanos, right? He was there. I mean, they were on Titan.
Yeah, but he never got a good chance to.
Wow.
Got turned into brick, and then
Is Star-Lord the big bad in this movie?
Ooh, good question.
He
He effed him up.
Idiot.
he done messed up,
Yes, he did.
Ron.
Yeah, he done messed up.
Yeah, he did not do right.
Yeah, at that point in time, if I'm Tony and I'm like, Star-Lord, we got this. Peter, no, don't quit.
Yeah.
As this still went on, who is still hanging out? It's because it's everybody except for there's one more person.
They're all
right?
doing their job,
Not
right?
engaged.
Yeah, no, they're all doing their job.
Yeah.
Like Spider-Man, he's got him webbed up. Mantis is on his head, trying to get him to calm down. Iron Man and Spider-Man are now pulling the thing. Doctor Strange is doing a thing. I don't know where Drax is. He's doing something. Maybe he's also trying to hold him down or something. I can't remember. Star-Lord's literally just standing there, and then that's when Mantis is all like, "Oh, he's sad because he had to kill Gamora or something."
Yeah, well, was she the bad? Should she have just kept her
No,
mouth
that's
shut?
her job is to say what she feels.
Yeah.
And she did the thing.
And she,
No one told her not to do it.
yeah, and her and her character, even from the second one, she's almost as childish, aka no filter, slightly autistic as Drax is.
Yeah.
That's not a mean thing, people. Drax is played autistic. That's just the way he is.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I've seen several posts about Star-Lord is actually the villain in this movie, and I don't disagree.
Yeah. I've seen some people that were well, and actually I saw it in the theater. There were some people that were genuinely upset that Doctor Strange handed over the Time Stone. But and my wife and I had the conversation in the car on the way home from the theater. You know, Doctor Strange is the only one who knows the outcome of what's happening.
Yep.
You know,
And he knows the only way they'll win.
Right. And he knows that in order for them to win, he has to turn over the Time Stone.
so
But there were people in the theater that were legitimately upset about it.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess,
Oh, I mean, people are like, well, why would he do that? He knew he had to keep it.
right.
Oh, so here's a fun question.
Well, hang in there, Corny. I want to stay in this moment for just a second, and then keep what you got in your head. So Billy and I were talking. Good for again, Billy, friend of the show, Billy.
Billy.
Oh,
LA,
Billy.
We were talking, and he heard theory. He says, if you remember back to Doctor Strange the movie, the ancient one, when she says, I've lived 1,000 lifetimes and blah blah blah, and I've looked into the future, and they all stop at this moment, and it's because she can't see past her death. Doctor Strange is able to look into the future 14 million times, right? Which means he doesn't die. He can look past his death because he knows that he's going to come back. And so when he says there is an outcome in which this works, it has to be that moment where he has to give it up because he knows that he's not going to die because he's seen past it.
Right.
My only problem with any of these probabilities and things is the fact that a lot of times these movies, they how can I say this the right way? It's not that they don't treat us like we're smart, but there's a general populace that will be like, huh? I don't understand what just happened. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So in my mind, I'm like, are they going to give us such a neat? Because I think it's a brilliant kind of head fake if they do. Are they going to give us that? I don't know.
I don't know. I think that they've proven for the last 10 years that we don't have to just make dumb action movie, right? We can have some smart, some clever things, and we can take some risks. I mean, we gotta be honest with you. We should be to be fair. The Russos took a huge risk by killing these characters. You know what I'm saying? Like that takes balls to do that. Now again, people are like, well, yeah, I mean, Spider-Man's gonna come back. You know he's gonna come back because he has a movie. His movie is next in line after Avengers 4.
But who's to say this movie doesn't happen prior to this event?
Yeah, we don't know what that movie is going to be. You're right. I don't think it's going to be that because they've already announced the villain for that, and it's Mysterio. So
Jake Gyllenhaal, apparently.
Yeah.
Nightcrawler.
Right. So anyway, what were you going to say, Corny, before I finish that moment?
No, I was going to say my argument is that all the movies that are coming out after this one, being before Avengers 4, easily these are the next adventure prior to this Avengers movie. Spider-Man has his suit. He has the good suit again. Who's to say that the events of Homecoming happen? You've got several months before this happens. This could be a month later after Homecoming. This could be 2 weeks before, it depends on who we see, but this could be 2 weeks before Avengers 3. Same thing with the Black Panther and so on and so forth, Ant-Man and Wasp. And I kind of feel like the death of these characters doesn't have to actually ruin the next movies, or doesn't even have to confirm that this is after Avengers. Although I think it would be super cool if it was, because now we know they are alive, but the how will drive us nuts for the next year.
Well, I have another theory. So there's only 2 movies between now and Avengers 4. And I say only. I mean, that's still a lot. And that's Ant-Man, Wasp, and Captain Marvel. Ant-Man, Wasp, we don't know much about the movie other than someone else has some weird tech, and the 2 of them have to go and save the day. What I think, because the trailer has shown us very little evidence that the world is in utter chaos because half of it just disappeared, I think the majority of that movie is going to be pre-finger snap. And then the last 10 minutes maybe or so of the movie is post-finger snap. And Hank Pym kind of sees what's going on and finds some way to kind of create a protection thing, hide in the quantum realm, something.
I think, and let me throw this in there, I think they're going to be in the quantum realm during the finger snap where it won't affect them.
Right.
Like a different dimension, because I think we're going to get into the multiverse part of
which we
Marvel.
already kind of have a little bit. They've already teased that. So then Captain Marvel is set, we know it's been confirmed, in the 90s. Where
just before
what?
All this?
By a decade.
Yeah, by a little bit.
Yeah, by 20 years. It's in the 90s, and she fights what's his name, the Accuser. He's back.
Ronan the Accuser.
Ronan, he's the big bad in that. So
really,
yeah. So
okay, I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. So she will be so I think, and everyone thinks, a lot of people think, that her and Ant-Man and Wasp are the kind of the catalyst that allows everyone to come back. Because there are, like, set stills have already been leaked from Avengers 4 filming, because they're filming right now in Georgia. And they show Captain America, they show Iron Man wearing some kind of device on his hand, and they think that Hank Pym has maybe created some way to kind of keep them here in case Thanos decides to snap his fingers again. Something. We're not really sure, obviously. It's complete speculation. Anyway, we can talk way much more on this, but we do need to move on a little bit. So
no, we don't. Shut up.
I don't have any clips because, again, it's moving the theater, and I'm not going to pull a Sam and go on some illegal site and download. So
get this man a shield
and get weird viruses. So I'm going to play this.
And now for some more bad news. Ready?
Okay.
Trivia. There is a shit ton of trivia. A lot of it sucks, and a lot of it is pre-release of the movie. So probably 2/3, maybe a third of the trivia is, we think this will happen in the movie. Go and delete that stuff. Tom Holland was not allowed to read the script for this film since he revealed too many secrets for Spider-Man: Homecoming. I love that.
Should have said that.
I love it.
Should have done that for Mark Ruffalo too.
Right?
Yeah, I know, right? I saw that. That was great. This film takes 4 years after the Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. Both Guardians films take place in the same year. I didn't realize that
makes sense.
After that there's 4 years. Now, the Russo brothers have also already confirmed that Adam Warlock will not be in this film.
Yeah, it makes sense. We haven't seen him, nor does his power set matter or make sense now.
We got a tease of him.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen him.
But freaking, what's his name? Peter Gunn, whatever his name is, has come out and said he's not going to be in the third Guardians movie either. Well, then why don't you tease him in the second one? So I don't really know what's going on. Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth ad-libbed their dialogue between Captain America and Thor, in which they compared their facial hair, being that they have known each other long enough to have that kind of friendly banter.
You mean Chris Pratt or
no?
Chris Evans?
Yeah, Chris Evans and Thor. Because like Thor's like, hey, nice.
Oh yeah, you've grown your hair, yeah.
You're copying my beard or something like that. Yeah. And he cuts his hair short. Like, oh, nice haircut. He's like, oh, I see you're growing your beard. So, Corny, back to your part where you talked about you wanted to see more death. And yes. I said it had to be this number. Of the 24 characters visible on the poster, right? So there are more than 24 characters in the MCU, but only 24 were in the movie. Right? Ant-Man, Wasp, Hawkeye, or somewhere else. Right? Of the 24 characters visible on the main poster, 12 live and 12 die. This furthers the concept that Thanos, within the movie, of bringing balance by killing half the universe.
Huh.
Can I ask you a question about that real quick?
You can, and shall.
Well, and this kind of goes back to what you were asking, kind of our pet peeves of the movie or something that bothered us. This goes back to the scene at the beginning of the movie. Now, Thor says in the movie he killed half of the Asgardians.
Yeah.
But looking at that scene, ain't a damn soul survived. If you look at it.
Yeah, it is interesting. He says he kills half the Asgardians and then blows up the ship. So the only thing that people are holding on to is that he let the other half escape, like in the escape pods.
Because we never saw Valkyrie.
Because we never see Valkyrie or Korg.
Right.
Piss off, Ghost.
That's my favorite part of Thor Ragnarok. It's the funniest character, I think, in the whole MCU.
I didn't realize that that's the voice of the director.
Yeah.
So
I want to see a Korg movie.
Yes.
I love him that much.
Ghost.
The revolution has begun.
Oh, question. Did we ever talk about, I think we did, how Korg, that character, is completely the opposite of what Korg is?
I think we did when we did our Ragnarok episode. Yeah. Because you talked about how like he's actually like super violent and like whatever, but in the movie he's just, I tried to start a revolution, but no one came but my mom and her boyfriend, and I don't like him. I didn't print enough flyers, so nobody came. Like, I love his character. Piss off, Ghost. I think that might be the name of the episode.
There's a whole lot of ghosts, that's for sure.
I do think that somehow some half the Asgardians were still able to escape. I mean, I have to hope that Matt Damon is somewhere still alive, pretending to be Loki, and that Chris Hemsworth's older brother is still also pretending to be Thor. That we saw in that bad Hickok movie. Anyway, that's it. So, Corny, you're going to get about a minute and a half to figure out your movies, but
excuse me while I whip this out.
We only came up with this category right before we started recording. Movies where the bad guy wins. So there's your category. So Andrew and Sam can go before you while you're making your list. Andrew, movies where the bad guys win. Go.
The Proposal. Miss Congeniality. And Speed.
These are all movies with Sandra Bullock in them.
She's a bad guy.
You don't like Sandra?
I'm sorry. I was thinking of bad actress. I'm sorry.
She's wonderful. She won an
No,
Oscar.
she's really good. Had I been more witty, I would have came up with 3 Kristen Stewart movies, but I couldn't think of them.
Twilight's 1, 2, 3, and 4.
I don't know. They're up there with 50 Shades of Grey. Those are just bad movies.
Never seen any of those.
Awful.
Isn't Dorian Gray bad? Isn't he a bad guy?
No.
Oh, wait, no, his name's not Dorian Gray.
No, that's the guy who lives forever in a painting.
That's right.
Yeah.
He was in that.
Hey, I had the Gray right?
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Good job.
Thank you.
But for real, though, I'm going to say Silence of the Lambs.
Okay.
With Hannibal Lecter.
Sure.
Yes.
No Country for Old Men.
Nice.
And The Watchmen, or Watchmen, I guess.
Okay.
Yes. Do you ever read the comics? I know the out there.
I've seen like a couple, but I've never read.
The comics are actually pretty good.
Yeah, a lot of blue wiener in them too.
Yeah.
Corny, are you ready, or does Andrew need to go? Or Sam need to go?
Pronounced Peni.
Oh.
Peni, the science guy. Peen. No, go ahead, Sam.
Me? Okay. All right. Well, I have got a whatchamacallit, a honorable mention.
Okay.
For Nightcrawler.
Oh, okay.
Amp.
And there you go.
There
We said that earlier and it was gone. My number 3 is 7.
Sure.
What's in the box? My number 2 is Fallen.
Right.
Denzel Washington with the devil, or not devil, but demon.
Possessed.
And then, of course, number 1, the reason I got my psychology degree that I only used really once in my life, Silence of the Lambs.
Cool. Corny, you ready?
Oh, okay. I'm gonna throw some stuff out here. Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
No.
Yep.
Wait a second.
I don't think so.
The dinosaurs win, right? They chase the people off the island.
That sounds right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So no, I know not that I was stalling. I'm gonna go with, let's say, No Country for Old Men will be my number 3.
Okay.
Revenge of the Sith.
Okay.
Oof.
I know. Is this? I wasn't prepared for this.
It's fine.
I really want to say Law-Abiding Citizen, but that doesn't.
It depends
Anti-hero?
on who. Well, but he dies at the end. But you might can argue that Jamie Foxx is the bad guy because he made a deal with a murderer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like there's no good guys in that movie, honestly. Really,
Yeah.
the only true good guy is the hot blonde. She did not deserve to die. She was just on his team. So.
Yep, it sucks.
Yeah.
No, yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell.
There you go.
And my number 1, I'm going to go with The Usual Suspects.
Okay.
Nice.
Right on. I mentioned both y'all, or one of you mentioned Nightcrawler.
Amp.
Is my number 3. My number 2 is a movie called Arlington Road with Jeff Bridges and Tim Robinson. And
Did he win in the end? I don't remember that one that well, I guess.
Tim Robinson did. I guess this is a category that's kind of spoilery. But yeah, Jeff Bridges thinks that his neighbor, Tim Robbins, is a terrorist. And he goes through the whole movie trying to find out. And then the movie ends with Tim Robbins exacting the terrorist act he tried to do, but is at the end able to frame Jeff Bridges, who dies in the act. So yeah, totally bad guys, totally winning that one. And my number 1 is Empire Strikes Back.
Oh yeah, that's good.
So,
Although technically, did they really win?
yeah, they cut off his hand. Han is an end table.
Taking my son to see, for his 8th birthday, the Solo movie this weekend.
Sweet.
I'm heading Friday morning to go see it.
Yeah, from what everyone's saying is basically Donald Glover steals the show.
Yeah.
Sweet.
You mean Childish Gambino?
No,
I
I
like
refuse to
Donald.
call him that.
I'm looking forward to it.
You will call him by his name.
By the way,
Say his
have
name.
you
Say it.
seen the music video yet?
Yes.
Yes.
It's disturbing, but in a weird way.
I have to admit, I had to put the subtitles on. I couldn't understand what he was saying because I just couldn't. Like the music was so his lyrics were so fast, and so I had to put subtitles. And then the music made kind of more sense. It was more impactful. But I think that's a song that needs the video to be impactful, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, very much so.
Like if I just put that on my phone,
I'm not going to
get as much out of it. Yeah. So
yeah.
And just watching him dance was weird. Like it kind of made me uncomfortable. But I think that's the point. But
yeah, there's a great video somewhere on YouTube about all the inside, basically all the references he's making in the video, and even the dancing has some interesting reflections, I guess you could say.
I kind of think we did Bad Guys Win, but whatever. I don't care. We don't have a website to corroborate anymore, so suck it.
Sorry.
It's not your fault, dude. It is what it is. Here we go.
Wait, what's supposed to happen?
This is where you guys give me your score out of 10. 0 to 10. Andrew.
Even though it made me feel feelings, I still enjoyed the movie quite a bit, and I think Marvel did its job, and it gave us kind of what they had been promising, which I appreciate. So I'm going to give this, I guess, a 9. It's up there.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Just also for those who like to play at home. According to IMDb, there's actually what is it? Box Office. What is it? Box Office Mojo box. Yeah, boxofficemojo.com. I want to. This thing is ridiculous. How much money it's made? Domestic, foreign plus. It's at $1.2 billion.
Billion
It's the one that they think is going to be a $2 billion movie, like the first $2 billion.
In this movie? I mean, maybe. It's only been out a month, and we're there. So
I think you guys have convinced me. I am going to go see it again tomorrow in the theater.
Oh, you want to drive to Charlotte?
Yeah.
I'll meet you in Charlotte.
Seriously.
Maybe.
I've got all day tomorrow.
Maybe.
Hey, let's talk off air.
Yeah. So Andrew says 9. Corny.
I'm going to give it a 9.42.
Okay.
For me, it still doesn't capture quite the magic of the first Avengers movie, but still well done. And I've seen it twice, but I don't think it warrants me seeing it a third time.
At least maybe not in the theater. Maybe when you get on video or something,
Yeah, maybe it does that. But it had I watched Scott Pilgrim in theater for the first time, I probably would have watched it probably 6 times.
Okay, Sam.
This movie kind of scares me because I really did actually want to go see it a second time before I gave it a number, because I love it. I really do. And I can't give it any less than a 9 right now.
Okay.
It hits in all the right ways. And in terms of the first Avengers, I put it right up there with it, if not above it in my ranking.
You'd just be wrong. I mean, that's fine.
Man, I'll tell you what, I love that little ranking thing that you posted on Facebook.
Yeah, wasn't that cool?
That was really
so much
cool.
fun.
And Andrew and I got into it. Lejeune, not
I love
Jemison.
it. Yeah.
That was fun. I still think he's totally wrong for saying that Thor is the greatest.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely wrong.
At least he admitted this time that he said that when it was...
it was fresh out of the movie theater.
It just came out or something, yeah.
But to my rebuttal was, but this is also... Iron Man was still out. Like, Iron Man existed, and Iron Man's a way better film than Thor. And honestly, Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire is better than Thor. Spider-Man 1 with Tobey Maguire is better than Thor. Just saying. We were also in a time where The Dark Knight existed. Dark Knight's a better film. So, anyway, he's wrong. And I love saying that. I love this movie. I wouldn't put it above Avengers. Avengers 1, I mean, it's like my third favorite film of all time. So it's still going to stay there as far as my favorite of the MCU. This has surpassed Iron Man, in my opinion, as the second best. And I now put Avengers 1, this movie, and then Spider-Man Homecoming at 3 with Iron Man at 4. I think that's where I would rank. Yes, computer, I know my storage is almost full. Shh.
Does that mean we need to wrap up?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I got some work to do. I'm going to give it a 9.5. No, 9.4. 9.45. Haha. There. I love this film. I really did. I thought it was great. I want to go see it again. I'm excited for it. And I don't know if this is going to kick Jurassic Park off the top for our rankings. I don't think it will. I don't know. I can't remember. Jurassic Park. No. Oh, yeah, it definitely does.
Wow.
Wait, where'd it go? I lost it. So, anyway, that's our show. Thank you for listening. Yep. This was a lot of fun.
See you, folks.
As per usual. Yeah, Jurassic Park is at 8.9. So, yeah.
Wow.
This will supplant as the best film we've ever seen, our highest ranked film we've ever seen. And that's okay, Sam. It's fine. You'll be all right.
No. No, it's not.
You want to redo Jurassic Park so you can score higher. I mean, you gave it a 10. You can't get any higher than that.
I can't get any higher than that. Yeah.
Next week, though, something.
I'll give Infinity War a 7.2.
It's already in the type. I can't change it.
I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Except that's just.
Don't worry, Sam. I'll move it later.
I was going to say you could do it, or I mean, all three of you guys could do it. You have editing power. I guess you could do it. Next week we're doing Escape from New York. This was a listener requested film. We're doing Escape from New York. What's his name film? I don't remember. Kurt Russell and the other guy that directed.
Donald Glover.
He's not in it. He wasn't. Well, he might have been born, but he would have been a wee baby. So anyway, that's the show. Thank you for listening.
Yes.
For those who do listen, we greatly appreciate you still sticking with us after these 4 long years. Please leave us a review on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, mainly iTunes. More reviews, more people that can find us. It's kind of how the analytics go for iTunes. The more reviews you get, the higher you get kicked up. So that'd be really helpful if you can do that. I mean, literally, if everyone that was listening right now went and submitted a review, it would triple the amount of reviews that we had.
We would thoroughly appreciate your love and kind and support.
That's right. Also, just send your emails, cheapseatreviews@gmail.com. It's been probably a full calendar year since we've had an email. But we've been getting stuff through Twitter, so it's fine. At CheapSeatCast is our Twitter account, and Facebook.com/CheapSeatReviews is, of course, our Facebook page. Anchor app, again, I've been posting old episodes that I thought I posted that are drafts. So you're going to get my review of The Defenders real soon. And that's fine. That's fine. And GoFundMe.com/CheapSeatReviews, of course, is the website where you can financially support us to help keep the lights going and my computer's working, because right now I'm down to 1.5 computers. So anyway, and the one that I own is technically not mine. Anyway, on behalf of thank you, Corny. On behalf of Corny, Andrew, and Sam, this is Sean Thing. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next week.
Thank you for coming.